We are not. Hey, very good morning, America. Good evening, India. This is Shan Shankaran. We are going to today talk about American elections, Republic National Convention, which got concluded this week. Today, unfortunately, Sam Pitroda couldn't join our call. He expressed his sincere apologies for not able to join this tribe to discuss about it. But I have an interesting thing. His video recording where he shared in length. Also, he discussed a few questions with me. So I'm going to play the video along with our co-host Priyamata, and let's look into it and explore and what America has got for the rest of the world. And also, I want to congratulate everybody that this is 30th episode of Sense with Sam. We have discussed so many different topics. I want to thank everybody. I think the kind of topics we have discussed tells the kind of metal what we have got. For example, we discussed starting with artificial intelligence. Eventually, we went to assembly elections and America's role in new global order, social media and democracy, EVM democracy, Indian National Congress 2024, 138 not out, talking about the Congress history, and media and democracy, EVM press conference, conversation with youth of India, employment, unemployment, farmers' protest, electoral bonds, inclusion, caste census to SB 403, idea of democracy, the state of global democracy, electoral bonds, Lai Lama and his $732 million, idea of democracy, continuing the unending saga, idea of democracy, independence of judicial and election commission, media, executive institutions, Sam Pitroda book launch by Kapil Sibal, idea of democracy, idea of future democracy, Congress 2024 manifesto, idea of democracy, Nyaya Yatra, idea of future democracy, Congress Nyaya Patra, idea of future democracy, social justice, idea of future democracy, economy, 2024 Lok Sabha, a community analysis, EVM democracy, part 2, need systematic dismantling of diversity in medical education, privacy to piracy, new criminal code acts with Manish Tiwari, privacy to piracy, privacy act, learning from the world. 30 different topics or 30 different episodes, but under 29 different 30 different topics under 29 different episodes. So it's a great feat. Consistently we have been getting 1,000 plus viewers from multiple platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube and Twitter put together. And also we have some partners like Priyamata and India with Congress who have been streaming this in their space, which is having its own audience. So it's phenomenal to have this interactive session for 30 weeks. I'm very glad. I want to in fact thank Priyamata also to help me put together this as a co-host. Looking forward, and I'll have Priyamata on stage. Priyamata, the plan is just to play Sam's video, and we will see how then maybe we will pause after his initial introduction, and then we will come back, and then we will then maybe I think I had some 10 minutes of question. So let's listen to Sam's video and then take.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just a few words. Congratulations, Shan, and congratulations, Sam sir, and every one of you out there. I think Shan, you have done a commendable job, and I think your efforts and your research and everything, how you get together things every Saturday, like afternoon time here and morning time yours. So at different time zones is really really commendable, and hats off to everyone out there, and I'm very happy to be a small part of this team. So thank you for having me and onboarding me in your team. So thank you.
Thank you, Priyamata. Without you and many others, regular viewers who come on a regular basis and ask questions, make it interesting. If you don't have interesting interactions, this may be becoming obsolete, but I think it's becoming very interesting interactions. That is what is making it interesting. Thanks a lot for making that and taking time out of your personal schedule to do this. Thank you. Now I'll play the video. I'll get down to the stage. Saturday session. So good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Sean.
Thank you. So today we are going to talk about American elections. Thanks for taking time out to do this recording since you are not able to present with us on the Saturday session. I'm going to start about the Republic Nation Convention, which got concluded, and where former President Donald Trump got nominated again for running for president on behalf of Republican Party. I have a few questions. First, I want to acknowledge about that assassination attempt, and very glad America came together to support him, stand behind him, and also express my sincere condolences for Corey Compatore, one of the firemen and a common citizen who died as part of this. The first question I have is about Trump is looking very new as part of on this Republic Nation Convention after this assassination attempt. I want to hear your thought about assassination attempt first. Let's start with it.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for the opportunity. Greetings to everyone. Before I begin, I must say that I'm not an expert on American politics, but I'm an observer. Having lived in Chicago for 60 years, I've been engaged directly, indirectly in American politics in a big way. And I'm very interested on a day-to-day basis because it basically dictates global direction. I want to begin by very clearly saying that violence has no place in global politics, local politics. Political leaders take a great risk in devoting their time and energy for public good, and they always have to be in public. They like to interact, meet, listen, talk, and they are exposed to crowds. And to have this kind of attempt on a president's potential candidate, highly respected people, public figures, is just not right. It shows some deeper problems in the society. This is happening in many parts of the world. Political assassinations are not something new. But whenever there is a deeper problem in the society, these things surface. I remember John Kennedy's assassination, Rajiv Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, Bobby Kennedy, and many others, Anwar Sadat. And these come as a result of highly polarized view, one-sided understanding of a situation. I think world is very complex. There cannot be one-sided view of anything. Everything has multiple dimensions. I remember reading from Amrita Sen's book about multiple identity. I think multiple identity is very important to diffuse tension. Whenever there is one identity which is wedded and hardwired to only one view, people tend to be radical. So the attempt on President Trump's life was a shock to all of us. We are happy that he got saved. He's brave. And as a result, I'm sure he has changed in some way. So first, in all political rallies, one has to be very careful. People have to understand that divergent of views are a way of life. We all must accept diversity in our approach. Just because someone doesn't agree with us doesn't make him our enemy. You got to sit across the table, talk, discuss, respect each other, and then find a solution. Taking gun to eliminate somebody is barbaric. So I'm one of those who firmly believe in nonviolence. Nonviolence at all levels. But in US society, we have created gun culture. People are shooting each other during summer. Gang violence is very common in urban areas. Robbery. All of these are very serious issues because of the freely available guns. In other countries, especially in Europe and other places, level of violence is low. Not that political leaders there don't get killed. We have seen recent examples in Europe as well. But there, because guns are not freely available, the violence is a little less. So because of this experience that President Trump has gone through, I'm sure he has changed in many ways, like any other human being. Because you are close to death and you understand the gift of life. You are given another chance and you want to do little better. You want to be a little careful. You have a family, you have friends, and political bosses have other responsibilities. And especially someone like Mr. Trump or Donald Trump, President Trump, has global responsibility. So he definitely would look at things little differently. But many of us at that age are hardwired. It's difficult for people to change because you build in the back of all your background for 70, 75 years, a certain way of doing things. And that becomes your trademark, your style, your approach, your strategy. And that's hard to change. You can modulate a little bit. So you will see some change, but you may not see a lot of change. Like many of us, I watched Democratic Convention wherever I could find time. And I must say that it was very well organized, well choreographed global event. It worked like a clock. Everybody spoke well. They communicated well. Their message was loud and clear. And the PR and marketing agencies did a great job of presenting it to the people. Unfortunately, political conventions are becoming a PR and marketing exercises. It has more forms than substance. I don't think many people mean what they say, and they say what they mean at political conventions. But it is good to mobilize your workforce, rally people around, create cheerleaders, hoping that it will last till the voting day. But the real challenge is not performance on the stage, but performance after you get elected. To deliver on the promises you made to people. And to which people? You can make promises to a selected group of people who would benefit. Or you can make promises to large number of people in terms of employment, inflation, safety, security, reducing cost of education, health services, improving infrastructures. These are all very complicated issues. And it's always work in process. It never gets done. The key is to get that done in the best possible way under democratic norms, where people are taken into confidence. You don't have this dictatorial attitude. Institutions serve the people and not political bosses. I wrote recently a book on the idea of democracy where I talk about the leadership is all about character. Leadership is about values. It's not about what is good for me and my associates, but it is good for what is good for others. Democracy is all about institutions. Institutions related to justice, safety, security, education, health. All of these institutions ought to be independent, autonomous, and do their jobs without a lot of political interference. To civil society. Civil society has to rise and speak up and be a catalyst and watchdogs. And then media. How media does justice to everybody and not only to people who fund them, support them, or encourage them. These are very important issues in democracy. And that is the challenge after the political conventions. The convention was great. The vice president candidate selected is young, promising.
J.D.
J.D. Vance.
There's an Indian connection too with this.
Yes, his wife, Usha, is a lawyer. Her parents came from India. And now you see Indians everywhere. You go to White House, you will see Indians because they are educated, hardworking, sincere, and they have found a place in American society. Indians are high earners in American system, highly educated in American system. They are well accomplished. So they will show up in different places. But they are American. At the end of the day, their loyalty is to America. But in today's world, we have multiple loyalties. I'm loyal to America, I'm loyal to India, and I'm loyal to humanity. I'm loyal to clean environment. So the days of one loyalty based on military and army and all that are gone. Loyalty has, like everything else, multiple dimensions. So, team looks good with very young person, with lots of energy. We will see what happens to the Democratic convention. But based on the Republican conventions, Democratic Party should think little about their position. their possibility of victory. And I think a well-organized, well-choreographed event will put a lot of Democratic Party leaders to work on what they need to do. And we'll see that in August. Mr. Trump clearly outlined his plan, his vision in many different ways. But it's very difficult to execute some of it. So we will see, what happens globally. World is definitely in a mess. World is in a mess because of wars, economic stagnation, lack of jobs, migration. In Europe, you have the same problem like immigration problem in America. Challenge is huge because everybody wants to come to America. People from China, people from India, Pakistan, Indonesia, Mexico, Argentina, Africa, you name it, even Europe, because this is the land of opportunity. The land mass is very large. Population is still very low. Compared to India, for example, US has 3 times the land mass and 1/5 of the population. So in a sense, you could say that America could be 1.5 billion people and it'll be okay. But what kind of people, at what rate, are the real issue. And that's what Trump talked about. Okay. Europe also has the same problem on immigration. People are coming through boats into Greece and Italy and, many European countries, and they just can't handle that kind of inflow. So ideally, we need to develop Africa, Latin America, and other parts of the world where people are happy where they were born and lived for generations. And that can only come through local development, local safety and security, local food production, local manufacturing. Today, the world has shifted all their manufacturing to China, and it is reflected in the jobs everywhere else. So this globalization probably will have to be revisited in terms of what you globalize and what you localize. You can't blindly globalize everything because it is cheaper and bigger and better. You've got to look at the impact of globalization on local jobs, local conditions, local environment. And again, these are also very complex issues, So I hope I've sort of given you the landscape.
Yes, sir.
Shan, you're on mute.
So I think that was a great introduction. So maybe Premada, do you have any questions from the Twitter space?
I'm not having from the space, but my question, like because you have now stayed in your residence in the US.
Yep.
So with Trump being, now being, there was an attempt of assassination, and with Biden with his health. So how do you think the US election is now polarized, and how do you see is it now advantage Trump? So how do you look at it?
Yeah, I think he's a changed person for sure. He kind of mellowed a lot. He's talking unity message, and I think it's kind of certainly they are trying to change a little bit of the narrative than the divisive narrative. Now I think if there are Democrats are not doing any game changing thing, it's obvious. It looks obvious that Trump is going to win. Because further confirming because of the assassination attempt, and there is a lot of empathy, sympathy votes, and swing votes. Also, because of the vigor and the stability he's showing. And on the Democrat side, Biden per se, I think has a lot of health issues which Democrats don't want to acknowledge, or even Biden himself don't want to acknowledge. So I think that's putting them to a big disadvantage. I think people are seeing now it's about the country more than the political opinions. I think America, it happens a lot. So I think it's obvious Trump might win, but maybe it's like what kind of whether it's going to be like bringing a balance, or it's going to be a sweeping victory. So we need to wait and watch.
Yeah. Do you
But
think, sorry, do you think the change of Democratic candidate, if there had been, like now, I think they are not willing to, but do you think it would have changed the what like election results? Like, would do you think it would have swinged in their way?
I think they are going to try. See, I think since last week, Biden is away because of COVID. So
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to run. According to a lot of sources, he may not run because there are a lot of internal voices in Democratic
Yeah.
Party itself who's opposing. And I think their convention is going to happen very shortly in Chicago. So I think they may decide, and they have a lot of able other people, very attractive names, like even Michelle Obama can run.
Yeah.
Who knows actually? So because she has been in the system for quite long, and or even Kamala Harris, kind of, at least she will give a good fight, if not winning the election. So I think Biden, though, I think it's going to be a very straight cakewalk for
Yeah.
Trump. And certainly it's going to change a lot of global equations. But maybe hearing Trump and listening to the entire Republican National Convention, he looks very different, at least to me. Uh,
Okay.
but according to Sam, a lot of things are hardware, things cannot change, but still, I
Mhm.
need to keep fingers crossed and wait.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So there are a few questions. Okay. Somebody asked, Jatinder is asking, do you think the India element has deliberately been added through Shah? I strongly think so, because JD Vance used to be a critical vocal opponent of Trump when during Trump's or initial days, if I'm not wrong, or even Trump's premium days. So, and I think he said Trump is misleading even the working middle class of white to a different direction, the country. So he has spoke on those lines. And I think he brings somewhat the centrist perspective of the right, JD Vance. I see him, even though I think he may take the party line with respect to the abortion and many other things, but I think he brings a lot of other issues. He takes a centrist view. So, so because of which, I think he maybe two reasons. One is in the Indian aspect, another one is the balancing aspect for Trump. Trump may go a little extreme, maybe the viewpoint of a lot of swing voters, to offset them or to alleviate their apprehension. Now, when we are bringing JD Vance to the equation, I think it may solve a lot of apprehensions. And I'm sure, I think this time Republican Party has got a lot of great strategists, including Elon Musk's of the world, the
Yeah.
golden boy is there with them. So I think there is no doubt.
Did you, sorry, just to interject, did you see he tweeted for Prime Minister of India saying that
Yeah,
congratulations, you're the most followed,
100
like,
million. Yeah.
yeah, like it's crazy.
And maybe 2018 is when I think there were public reports, right, that 60% of his
Yeah,
followers were fake.
followers are fake. Yeah.
And I think even Elon has spoke about a lot of these fake followers and stuff, but he has not taken any action. even with respect to Trump as well as Modi, so even Trump also has a lot of fake followers. So I think he is very shrewd in that note with respect to political relationship. So he speaks about freedom of speech, etc. All those bada bashan. He never does that entrepreneurship or innovation talk. I think he talks all the political talk. In fact, as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Prasanna has a couple of questions with the recent incident on Trump. What is going to change now? So, and she has one more question. What could be the possible effects on trade and immigration when Republican come to power? So I think we have few answers. I asked some similar things to Sam. I am going to play the rest part of the Sam's conversation. I asked few questions. Premita, I'll just go.
Okay. Yeah.
I have some few specific questions. So, in fact, as you correctly mentioned, looks Trump is a changed person. I think he mentioned every moment is a gift from God. Looks like it's reflecting because he looked mellowed, soft, and he was insisting on this unity message. So, but he has a past. He had a kind of a ongoing trade war with China, kind of impeachment trial, and coronavirus pandemic. Maybe not a little efficiently handled initially. So bunch of those things. So do you think that that will change in case if he's elected as president? Do you think with this now little bit changed approach, there is possibility that he may be approaching things differently?
Hard to say, difficult to say. Because on one hand, we are all hardwired based on experiences. But we also change based on circumstances. We learn. Okay. So it all depends on his inner voice, how he responds to the new reality. New reality is that world needs American leadership. America is still seen by world as the global leader, not just because America has all the money, but also because America has all the systems in place. America has best of the best talent, universities, research and development, military, you name it. It'll take a long time for others to catch up. But I don't think world should look at the global political scene only in terms of unipolar world. Things have changed. I've been saying that the hyperconnectivity has really flattened our world. Hyperconnectivity demand that we don't work in silos, that we dismantle borders in many ways, recognizing that there'll be borders for a while. We need to really restructure. And I think America is in a better position to restructure the world than anybody else. But America has been so preoccupied with American challenges that they haven't spent time in thinking about restructuring the world. The same kind of time and effort and initiative they took after World War II to create UN, World Bank, IMF, and all that needs to be done now. America has to say, how do we redesign the world in a hyper-connected world? How do we look at AI's impact on the global design today? And nobody's really focused on that because they want to optimize American agenda and not global agenda. In many ways, I've said in my books, 2 books, Democracy and also Redesign the World, that world is focused on profits and power, not on planet and people. We need a group of people who are really looking at larger picture and presenting a new design to the global leaders, saying, look, if we want to go forward, to really improve the standard of living in the world, environment in the world. This is what we all need to do. And it's a complicated issue.
I think so. On the energy crisis, he assured that he made a promise to make US energy dominant. So since you are also advising few research institutions on this aspect, what are your thoughts?
Well, America has a lot of sort of energy potential. You saw what has happened in last couple of decades in local production of oil, shale oil. And America also has a huge amount of reserve, massive reserve. Okay. So if we go to explore more oil from the rocks and all, America can produce more energy. But America also needs to produce better batteries, provides better solar power, cheaper solar power. And this is an area where Chinese dominance is very visible. And America will have to fight Chinese dominance in EV, in solar and alternate energies. And I think it can be done. It can be done.
On the economy also, he pledged to lower the interest rates, relief to citizens, bringing down costs, reducing taxes, to some extent to fix the inflation. So what are your thoughts on the economy and the inflation aspect?
Every political leader would say that I want to bring interest down. I want to bring inflation down. I want to create more jobs. This is all motherhood, apple pie, flag and all. How do you do it? When do you do it? And what is the cost of doing it? These are the challenges that economists will have to address. Today, interest is high. I'm told that the inflation is getting under control. So interest rate will come down. Okay. Sometimes it happens that Trump will get the credit, but the real work was done during Biden era, for example. Could be. And these things happen. Okay. So it's okay, as long as people benefit. His goals are good. Nobody can argue about it. Nobody will say, no, inflation should be high. Interest rate should be high. Nobody would say that.
And he's pledging to protect Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, which is also good. So any thoughts on that?
Good for people like us. You know, I know that Social Security, no matter how much you get, is not enough. And we all have, you know, medical costs to take care of. And medical is expensive. So these are fundamental issues. You can add to that the cost of education for younger people. I mean, these two issues that depend more on the older people, benefit older. But look at younger people. They want education to be affordable. Today, education is not affordable. It's too expensive.
That's good. So on the global relationships and on the foreign policy, so he emphasized on stopping Russia, Ukraine, and the Middle East conflict. So, which as per him would have never happened if he was a president. So, what are your thoughts? And also, what do you think? How are you seeing India relationships may evolve?
I think India's relationship won't get much affected, you know, because in the larger scheme of things, India's relationship today is more transactional. And it will remain transactional. The real issue for America is more about China and Russia. China is of great concern. There, if something strange happens, then my one worry as an engineer is that the supply of semiconductor will be all disturbed. And that could disturb the world today. Because all important semiconductor comes from Taiwan. And if something strange happens and Taiwan is under stress and they don't produce, or they produce only for somebody, one group of people, all the semiconductor, the entire world will come to halt. Believe me,
Like the
it's
today's
that serious.
Windows crowd strikes stopping.
It is that serious.
So people
Okay.
thought doomsday. This is the doomsday.
Very serious. So that's one issue which bothers me, worries me a lot. Supply of semiconductor from Taiwan is not sorted out yet. There are no alternatives today. US is trying to build alternatives, but it is not there. It will take probably another decade. Okay. Maybe 5 years. So that's one major concern. Okay. Idea of moving production out of China to more democratic countries is good. He talked about moving production from Mexico, Chinese controlled production to US, which is again, good for America if it can be done. But there will be a lot of conflicts on trade that will have to be sorted out. The trade with India is not that big compared to American, business. So I think India would continue to enjoy the same relationship.
Sure, Sam. Very glad that we could review Republican National Convention and Donald Trump's presidency and J.D. Vance. So looking forward to discuss about the Democratic National Convention, maybe RFK Jr. also. And then maybe
I hope all our friends have interest in this, and they have their own views, and I'm sure you all can talk more about it. It is learning from others that matters in these kinds of conversations. So good luck to everybody, and my apology for not being able to join you this week because I have conflict. I have some other commitment. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Okay, that is great. I have just one last closing thoughts of Sam. Before that, I'll go few more questions which has come. Prasanna from IOC Germany through Twitter asking why is no one raising the gun culture even after the incident. I think Sam very vocally condemned the gun culture. I also even tweeted on the same day about the gun culture. So in fact, this is a blessing in disguise. That's what I will put it, because Democrats as well as Republicans, due to this gun lobby, they have never pushed any gun regulations for long, and America has been seeing gun issues, mass gun shootings every other week. Okay, it's not just one happens and and something like that. No, it happens on a regular basis, and people, in fact, the companies have briefings about gun shooting, how to handle gun shooting. So drop, cover, hold. So all these things, whenever you are seeing any shooter, what exactly you should be doing. So in case if you are not able to get a cover and hide yourself, what exactly you should be doing, taking help of others, all these kind of instructions. I know companies which does these instructions on a daily basis before every meeting they starts. So it shows a pathetic situation of America. They can be the superpower of world, but on this particular matter they suck big time. So I'm not so sure whether Trump and Republican Party will take this as a mandate, because still they get a lot of funding from the gun lobby. So I'm not so sure, but hopefully, but it's a great reminder for the former President Trump himself that there is an assassination attempt. And I think that to great extent, if you look at that particular assassin's particular background, he's just finished school and 20 years old. So he's part of a he used to be part of the school's gun club, etc. stuff, and he accessed his father's gun. And it's not a great nation state attack. So it's kind of one high school finishing kid can use one of that high profile gun and can even target one of the top protected person, former president. That is the kind of situation. So that's the kind of availability of resources to kind of finish a person's life in America. So we need to be reevaluating this whole gun reform, at least using this as a self reminder. Donald Trump and Republican Party should evaluate how they can bring at least some reforms and regulations. There are many precedences. So I saw Dhruv Rathi's video this week. He spoke a lot about this gun reform and stuff. Other countries, what they have done, particularly Australia, many other countries, how they have come forward and did a lot of regulations around this matter. So that millions of people came forward voluntarily to return their guns, and kind of there are a lot of regulations to streamline even gun ownership.
So Sam, just to interject you,
Yeah.
how, like, just for the audience in back home, like, how does the gun culture work? Like, are there any states which are banning this, or are all states like you? I mean,
No.
how does it work? Like, just give us a background.
So there is no particular state which can ban, because America's fundamental rights is allowing people to have own gun. So the problem is about the verifications which is being done, and also publicly carrying the same gun. So it's a lot of states allow you to publicly display. Only few states have kind of regulations around it. You cannot publicly display. You can keep it somewhere in your personal belongings, and it's not that you can display. So a lot of these Republican states have a public display whatever feature of that act, so which makes it more complex. And so you cannot stop somebody is carrying even locally, you cannot stop it. So but in case of some of this democratic state, you have some regulations around it. So people, if somebody is carrying itself, people can be alert. So in other states you cannot even predict, because he says that it is my right. So that is more than the ownership. I think this public display or carrying is where I think the challenge is. I'm not an expert in this subject because I'm not an American, but still, this is my little novice understanding in the matter. And if you look at the statistics, it's very pathetic. You can just look at gun shootings in America. As Sam pointed out, it happens in suburbs, and as well as even in urban areas, and kind
A
of
lot of
no
schools
state.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, schools, no state is alone from this particular thing. See, California used to claim, or even now claims, that they are the one of the forward looking or the golden state of America, right? So even California shootings happen. It's not that California is prone or immune to this. No. So I am now in California for past 3 years, so I have seen it many times. I heard such things happening in many neighborhoods. So it may not be happening kind of on the neighborhoods where we live, but it happens all the time. So
Yeah.
it's kind of maybe just a 1% thing. It may not, only it comes to a national news when there is a mass school shooting or some other place that the deranged person is going and shooting public people, right? So the gun getting to the hands of any mentally unstable people is what is creating a lot of problems. So there's
Problem.
no background check. So many kind of other things are there. See, America, I don't know. It's high time it need to reevaluate. So probably they had all this other holding of gun, etc. Maybe 100 years ago, 200 years ago, when there were a lot of other faction and violence and stuff. Right now, I don't think there is a huge need of that sort. And but I think people take it as a symbol of their independence. Almost half of America takes it as a symbol of their independence. So that is a problem in the mindset of people also. So, but see, if government comes forward, both Democrat and Republican comes together, it can be solved. But I think they are not coming forward because of another thing. With in America, the lobby plays a huge role. So the gun lobby, NRA, there are a bunch of lobbies of gun manufacturers associations. So they have a very powerful. They fund all the both the parties, and they have a huge influence in the American politics and the regulations around gun. So
Okay.
yeah, see, in all other countries, I think in India we keep calling corruption. See, in America it's about lobbying, so it's maybe a legalized loot and corruption, where these all these corporations fund politicians for getting their say inside the regulations.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So even see, since you asked, Elon Musk is supporting Donald Trump
Yeah.
for one particular reason: environmental social governance. ESG is a very big regulation which the world has been going forward, where they are trying to streamline things. But Elon Musk is not subscribed because his company may fail many aspects on the governance as well as social aspects. There are even reports about Elon was doing his business on the peak of COVID. He wanted to open up his Fremont plant in California. So so he doesn't care for rules. He don't want to have rules. He thinks that as an entrepreneur he should be allowed to conduct his business. So ESG is a metric which is about assessing a company holistically. So when stock markets are involved in investing on a company based on ESG metrics, it impacts the top line and bottom line of the company. So he's a big champion of removing this ESG regulations and stuff. And Trump is a big proponent of removing all regulations in favor of the big corporations. So not just Trump, even the Republican Party. So that way, so there is this even mentality towards remove a lot of regulations, claiming that they are business friendly.
Yeah.
Let us
True.
see what they have in the kitty.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm going to end the show in another 10 minutes. So I have one important question. I will take this. By the way, Sean is the growing of the bird, the extension of Bharat Jodo Yatra. Dilshad Ali is asking from LinkedIn. Very important question. Yeah, I thought about it. So if not becoming Rahul by ideology, at least let's become Rahul by beard, big growing beard. So that is the very reason. So fun aside, no reasons, just like that. So I think Dilsad is saying thank you, Sean and Priyabata, for hosting and bringing different thoughts and ideas for value adding our to our perspective. It's 30 weeks and it's very important. I think we should pat on our back, Priyamata, that
Thank you.
as we speak, we are having 313 viewers from LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, and whatnot, YouTube. So put together, so it's phenomenal. So I think we have been consistently getting, and also post to the show, we usually get more viewers, and that way we are getting consistently 1,000 plus viewers. Few times when Sam talks about EVM, there are a lot more people. And more importantly, we have a one viewer who's without miss, he has been regularly watching. I know it's Prime Minister Modi. He has been watching, and he has been trolling Sam Pitroda regularly. I think so he's one of the top viewer of the show. So I'm very glad this show has taken a lot of prominence in that note. Sam got trolled multiple times. Not because of the content what he spoke on the show, but I think some of the essence what he's getting are helping the party. They learned through the show, which I think they pick up on through some of his other press conferences. Anyway, I'll maybe play some couple of minutes. The 1 minute of which Sam spoke about congratulating us, and then I'll end the show. Sure thing, Sam. So
Thanks, Sean.
it's 30th episode. I want to thank all of the tribe and looking forward to continue this conversation.
So thank you, Sean, you and Priyambada and others for taking this forward. Different people have different views on this. Some people tell me, oh, this is really not that great. Some people say, oh, it is very good. So it depends who you're looking at it. But I think it has the fact that you have been able to sustain for 30 sessions speaks for itself. So congratulations to you. You are the one who really drives this. So I appreciate your effort and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Bye. So I think that brings us a completion of the show. So let us see what Trump is going to bring us to the kitty. See, love him or hate him, there is no denying that Trump's presidency has been a controversial one. Previous time when he came to power, since taking office in 2017, Trump made a lot of headlines with his unconventional approach to politics. From his Twitter rants to his controversial policies, Trump has been a polarizing figure. So some of the key events, like ongoing trade with China, impeachment trial, coronavirus pandemic, all of these events affected United States, but had also global repercussions. Whether we agree or not, his decisions, it is undeniable. President Trump made a significant impact on the world stage. So, almost like Narendra Modi. So, whether we love them or not, they certainly kind of in a maybe not in a positive way, in a negative way, they made their impact. So,
Yeah.
what sense Trump's presidency apart is his use of media and technology. He has leveraged social media platforms like Twitter to communicate directly with the public, bypassing traditional media outlets. He has also been it's almost Modi's playbook, right? So he has also been a major player in the rise of podcasting and many other things. And his campaign rallies and speeches have been live streamed and podcasted, reaching millions worldwide. So we are continuing following the remainder of this Trump's presidency run. It is important to stay informed and think critically about the impact of his decisions. So we need to also keep voicing about what we feel. Looking forward to have another important discussion about Democratic National Convention in the weeks ahead. It's going to happen in Chicago. Stay tuned. Thanks a lot, Priyamata.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean, and thank you all the viewers on YouTube and all the other platforms. Also, Twitter Space. I would like to thank you all for joining us every day and every session, and keep listening and asking your questions. This is a great platform for interaction. So, thank you, everyone. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.